This is audience member number 1, my son Dalton, Audrey Morgan, Aaliyah Ash, Elena Catherine, and Becky Ash, and she will be holding the camera. Now I can remember back as a kid that, you know, being in the great outdoors, hunting, and everything was a part of life. My first gun was a BB gun. It was a Daisy Red Ryder, and I can't remember when my brother and I weren't just out pounding the grass, hunting for sparrows or tin cans. But, you know, I never grew up, or I was never born knowing everything I know about guns today. I had to be taught. And I'm going to share with you today my Savage Arms Company .270 caliber hunting rifle. First off, when you come up to a gun, you want to make sure it's always unloaded. To do this, this particular model of gun is a dual safety switch, and I'll get into that in just a minute. But I'll open up the bolt and make sure there's no shell in the breech. And we'll cover safety items first. The first thing you want is a good pair of safety glasses. And these will protect your eyes from any debris that'll get kicked up from the concussion of the rifle as it fires. And the next thing you'll want are some earplugs. You can use earplugs like this, these foam earplugs, or molded earplugs, or however you want to call them, or ear muffs. I prefer earplugs. They seem to deaden the noise for me a little better than ear muffs. And before I get into how to load and shoot the gun, I'm going to point out some of the parts of the gun. First off, what I'm going to do is the safety mechanism. Now this is a dual safety switch. This is safety position number 1, and it locks the bolt. I cannot open the bolt. If I slide it up one position and just a half of a red dot showing, I can now open the bolt to open the bolt.
Cool.
And now the second safety position is full on, off, safe, ready to fire.
Daddy, that's a cool gun.
It's a cool gun, thank you. And the next thing I'm going to show you is the bolt itself. And this is basically what does all the business of the gun. I can remove the bolt by pushing on this lever here and squeezing the trigger with the bolt open.
Shoot it, Daddy. Shoot it.
It allows me to remove the bolt safely. And this has a special clip in it that locks in the shell to hold it into the breech. And there's a little black dot right here in the middle. Inside the bolt there's a spring-loaded rod, metal rod, that will slam forward to hit the primer of the shell casing. And this is the business end, what does the business of the gun. The next part about the gun is this end of the barrel is called the breech. This end of the barrel is called the muzzle. The casings are, the cartridges are loaded into the breech, and the projectile or the bullet flies out of the barrel. Now to load this gun, this has a magazine or a metal canister to hold just a certain number of rounds. And this particular magazine holds 4 rounds. And to do so, I will take one shell, pushing down on the spring-loaded platform, push it down, slide the shell in, and now this magazine is loaded. And to load the gun, I will take the magazine and slide it with the bullet end of the cartridge facing up towards the breech, and pushing in until I hear a distinctive snap. That tells me the magazine is in the gun firmly and is loaded. Now to actually load the gun, I will grasp the handle of the bolt, sliding it forward, and you can see it grabs the bottom end of the shell, and as I push, it pushes the shell into the breech. And I continue pushing forward until it stops. Once I have reached this point, I slide the bolt lever down, locking the bolt in and not allowing it to come back out. And now this gun is loaded and ready to shoot. But since I'm not at a rifle range today, I cannot shoot it today, so I'm going to unload this and demonstrate how to shoot using a mock shell. So I will open the bolt, start sliding it back, and you can see it, as it's grabbed the shell, and this will actually fling it out, ejecting a spent casing from the gun. Thank you, audience member number 1. Now that this gun is unloaded, I will slide the bolt back forward, locking it down, imagining that there is a shell in there. To shoot, I will hold the gun firmly to my shoulder. Firmly into my shoulder, because the gun will have recoil. It will kick back into my shoulder. And I will fire my target through the scope, the crosshairs inside. I will acquire my target, and once I have found my target, I slide the safety switch forward 1 click to indicate that it is ready to fire. Before I put my finger on the trigger, I reacquire my target. Once I have done that, I take a deep breath, exhale slowly, and while exhaling slowly, I squeeze the trigger. And that will discharge the round, sending the projectile through the barrel, out the muzzle, and hurtling towards my target. Now, as it fires, there will be a substantial boom and a recoil. It slams back into my shoulder. Once I have fired, I return the gun to the half-safe position, which is to where the bolt can be opened, drawing the shell casing out, the spent casing, and with no more shells in here, I'll go ahead and close the bolt, put the gun on full safety, lay it down, indicating to everyone around that I am done shooting and that it is okay to walk down range and check the target. So, as you can see, shooting can be lots of fun, and I can't remember a time when I didn't have fun shooting. And as long as you know the proper way to handle a gun, all the safety equipment that you'll need, and how to properly load it and shoot it, there's no reason why anybody can't go to the range and have fun shooting.